A town in a corner of Cross Connexia. Aside from a select few, machine Digimon make up the inhabitants here. This made Impmon, Funbmon, and the others stand out all the more. But today, in Rebellimon's home, where Yuki and the others set up base, was a surprising array of colorful Digimon. And that's why we need your help. As Suzune finished outlining the situation and dropped her head, a painful silence filled the room. Talk with Mistymon? After what felt like an eternity, a deep voice boomed. The silver lion Panjamon spoke with a stern look on its face. Suzune nodded back with an equally serious expression. I'm sure it's not an agreeable prospect for you. Your village has suffered a lot because of Mistymon's orders to give offerings, and the two of you seem to be at odds with each other. After crossing its arms in thought for a while, Panjamon shook its head as if to cast away the hesitations in its mind. No, it's fine. I might not get along with Mistymon, but that doesn't change the fact that we were once allies in battle. If Mistymon has taken the wrong path, then we need to offer guidance. It then sighed as if to reflect on the good old days. In fact, I've been curious about why Mistymon has been acting so hastily. So you're saying that... Yeah, I'll help you. Thank you. Suzune bowed deeply. Standing next to her was the dragonkin Dinoyumon. It raised its voice in genuine wonder. What it all boils down to is dealing with Mistymon and the others somehow, right? Why can't we just fight them? Sorry, I know that's the fastest solution. Ryotaro shook his head at the dragonkin's words. It's just a selfish request on our part. In the same way we could only communicate with our fists, there are some things that can only be conveyed to them through words. He thumped his fist into his palm and stared at his clenched hand before slowly opening it up. I want Mistymon to know just how much we love you guys. I see. Dinohumon beamed. Then I'll help out too, because it felt great when we finally understood each other. Thanks, bro. I'm counting on you. Ryutaro and Dinohumon slammed their fists together. Standing next to them was Floramon, a vegetation Digimon that was noticeably smaller than the others there. It scratched its cheek anxiously. I mean, yeah, I'll help, but do you really need me? I am weaker than everyone else, and it's not like I'm particularly outstanding. That's not true, Floramon. Winner shook his head vehemently in response to Floramon. My battle allied with you is what I'm most proud of on this journey of mine. I want Mistymon to know how I feel. Floramon lifted its head at his words. I want you to help me protect what's important to us. You'll make me blush with all of that. After bashfully stroking the petals on its head, Floramon gave an emphatic nod. I already know that I can count on our tactician's strategy. If you say that you need me, then I just gotta give it all I've got. Floramon then admitted in a near whisper that it was nervous. The beaming Winner, who was expressing thanks, didn't hear, and Funbmon gently stroked Floramon's head. Then, that's that. Suzune breathed a sigh of relief. Please fight alongside us and fight in our way so that nobody gets hurt. Compared to the beginning of the journey, there were now a few more voices that spoke in response. Digimon Liberator Side Story, DEBUG.24-1, Miracle, Part 1. Seems like everyone's on the same page. Yeah, I'm glad it all worked out. Suzune and the others spoke outside the house. Upon sensing the warmth in the snippets of the conversation she picked up, Yuki breathed a sigh of relief while Impmon looked over with judging eyes. Impmon, what's so wrong with me joining them? You didn't have to drag me out. As Winner and the others talked, Impmon waited outside with Yuki. During the conversation, Impmon restrained Yuki from talking to the unfamiliar Digimon that she so desperately wanted to approach. Because they wouldn't be able to have a serious conversation with you around, Yuki. That's not true. I can be serious, says the one who at first glance mimicked Ryutaro's fist bump greeting with Dinohumon. It wouldn't be out of the question for something to happen to an avatar after doing that, you know? Ryutaro's just an anomaly. Ack, she pouted in response to Impmon's scolding. When she slammed her fist into Dinohumon's, Winner was mortified. All the color drained from Ryutaro's face, and Suzune let out a rare scream. It was that kind of behavior that made her a likely impediment to any serious discussion. Look, they might have been okay with not having a solemn mood to their conversation, but Suzune said we had to ask them in a serious manner. And you agreed with that. Yeah, I did. Winner and the others' plan was simple. Seek the help of the Digimon they had befriended in Cross Connectia in order to get Mistymon's guardians to agree to talk with them. Mistymon's group was fighting to protect Cross Connectia and the Digimon in it, and they developed a hatred for humans because they believed that they were threatening their cause. Their plan to clear up the misunderstanding through the mediation of the Cross Connectia Digimon they had become acquainted with and developed a mutual understanding with. However, this plan clearly involved a high risk for those Digimon who were already living on the edge. That was why it was crucial to hold the conversation in a serious manner that avoided any form of coercion. It ended up coming down to how much they trusted us, but it worked out. Yeah, you all made some amazing friends. That includes you, teacher? Yuki muttered profoundly. Winner was on the introverted side, and even amongst the debugging team, he only interacted with some of them. As his close friend, Yuki must have been happy to know that he got along well with a Digimon that he met on his travels. Getting all teary over that was a bit much, though. Why are you the one on the verge of crying, Yuki? Because I've been watching just how hard teacher is trying. This is totally a whirlwind. No, a hurricane of emotions. What the heck does that even mean? Hey, we can't interrupt the others talking inside. Impmon was at wit's end over Yuki getting all teary and emotional and didn't want Winner and the others' words to be made light of. But just then, Turbomon and Maneuvermon clattered on by, passing in front of the house. Oh, Turbomon and Maneuvermon! Thanks a ton, seriously! Yuki's weepy face of tears lit up in an instant as she embraced the two Digimon. There was one problem with Winnier and the other's proposal. It would take a whole day in the world they were in to travel from town to where Panjamon and the others were. No matter how slowly time passed, heading back to seek the help of the Digimon would mean that the time given for their mission would run out. It was Turbomon and Maneuvermon who made the impossible possible. After resting in town, the two Digimon had recovered from the exhaustion caused by the rogue NPC chasing them. Then, they incredibly managed to take the D storage with the group's message on it to different villages and hamlets, and bring back representative Digimon from each of them. Dinohumon took a liking to Turbomon's speed and developed a friendship with it, while Panjamon had no qualms about holding on to Maneuvermon's legs for the entirety of a long journey. Being transported in Maneuvermon's mouth, Floramon gazed off into the instance as it quipped about how surprisingly comfortable it was. It said nothing else beyond that. You're a pair of lifesavers. Everyone has helped us out so much ever since we started this whole journey. As Impmon thought to itself, Yuki began to tear up again. Turbomon and Maneuvermon looked nonplussed over being embraced so tightly. It was used to its partner's emotions changing like the seasons, but she was a bit too unstable. Impmon leaped up to reach Yuki's height and gave her cheek a mighty pull. Yahoo! Yeah! What are you doing, Impmon? Calm down, Yuki. 1 minute you're laughing and the next you're crying. There's something wrong with you. No, there isn't. Yeah, there is. What's up? Wait, could it be... An ominous image appeared in Impmon's head. It was a completely plausible malfunction in this kind of situation, but Impmon figured it was totally out of the question for Yuki. Are you nervous? Nah, after all that, as if... I am. I'm totally super nervous. Seriously? As Impmon muttered in bewilderment, Yuki leaped over to it and kneaded its cheeks. Hey, stop that. You gotta understand, coming up with a strategy to become friends with them is great and all, but who knows if it'll actually go well. It's a bit late to be worried about that now. Well, I'm always super serious when it comes to making friends. Really? Now? Impmon tried to escape Yuki's clutches, but she pinched its cheeks again in return. Hey, Yuki. What is it? Remember when I asked you about your dreams? Yuki, perhaps caught up by Impmon's serious tone of voice, didn't say a word. I remember when I asked that question, wasn't your dream to make friends with every single Digimon? Impmon had initiated this conversation shortly after meeting Yuki. Impmon wasn't usually one to talk about subjects like that, and this caught Yuki off guard, while also making her beam with joy as she pointed her finger sky high. You know it! I want to meet all of the Digimon living in the world, talk to them, and become friends with them. There are Digimon outside of Lacuna too. Weren't you listening to what Cool Boy was saying? Then I'll make friends with them as well. That's obviously impossible. As Impmon lazily cut her down, Yuki raised her voice in objection. You don't know that. Oh, but I do. That day, Impmon was ready to completely discount its partner's utterly reckless dream. That's why it even gave up sleep thinking of counter-arguments. If you're saying that you want to make friends with every single Digimon and you can fulfill that, then wouldn't you have become friends with every single human by now? Hearing this made Yuki back off sheepishly. Impmon thought it would have to be explained in more detail, but it seemed like that particular question hit a sore spot for Yuki. I'm friends with pretty much everyone I've met, I think. You think? Befriending every human is as impossible as befriending every Digimon. So wouldn't you fare better focusing on making friends with the humans in the same world as you? Heck, you know this, yet you insist on befriending all Digimon, even though you know it's impossible. You're just talking big, no? Or maybe you're just making light of us because you think we're just characters in a game. No way. I'd never. Then convince me otherwise. Impmon wondered why it said such cruel things. It wanted to tear apart its partner and her fantastical dream. Probably because it didn't want to be dragged along to fulfill that dream. Perhaps it thought the dream was too dazzling for itself. Oh, wah! And with that, Yuki began to cry over Impmon's inconsiderate arguments. This made the situation all the trickier. Even though it went out of its way to say cruel things, Impmon didn't know what to do when faced with her crying. Don't cry, there's no point to your tears. What do you expect me to do? I genuinely want to make friends. That's why I said you could make friends with humans. But Digimon are awesome. They look and live totally different from us, yet they're the same in how they eat, think, eat, and poop. What are you going on about? Finding out that such amazing, almost miraculous creatures actually exist would make anyone want to become friends with them. Impmon's memory became hazy from here, but it likely did all it could to pull out the apology caught in its throat. Yuki was blurting out complete nonsense. None of it even answered Impmon's question, but Impmon still couldn't find the words to respond because it looked Yuki square in the eye as she gushed over how Digimon were miracles. It was clear to the twisted little devil that its partner's eyes showed not a single hint of a lie. Remember that time you said Digimon are miracles? Yeah. Reflecting on memories of the past appeared to calm Yuki down. She lowered her restless hands and listened to Impmon. So don't you think Digimon see humans the same way? Oh, Yuki's eyes widened. It was then that they heard the sound of an engine from far away. They turned around and saw Rebellymon, the Digimon who had taken care of Yuki in this town. Rebellymon! Sorry for interrupting your conversation. Heading off already, Yuki? Yeah, you've helped me out a lot, but there's something I gotta do. I getcha. Rebellymon nodded profoundly in response to Yuki's sincere words. I know you need Digimon to help you talk to Mistymon. I was actually thinking of going along with you, but... Rebellymon said as it pointed its thumb behind it. Standing there were the Digimon that Yuki and the others befriended after the festival that was held in this town, the local Impmon, Hagurumon, and Kaburimon. These guys said they want to help you. Hold up, Rebellymon. Help isn't the right word. The Impmon barked at Rebellymon before turning to Yuki. You're leaving town with all of your friends, right? I was just curious about what types of humans and Digimon are among them. Impmon was the one who said it first, that it wanted to help you guys. Come on, Kaburimon. If you ask me, I think Impmon is sad that you're going somewhere with other friends after it became your friend. You're chiming in too? Hagurumon? Would it kill you to stay quiet for a sec? Kaburimon and Hagurumon laughed at the sight of Impmon turning bright red with anger. You're gonna make friends with Mistymon and the others, right? If that's the case, I want to help too. Ditto. I want to go and have a word with the grumps who haven't changed their minds after hearing that song. You guys, Yuki muttered, overcome with emotion, as she hugged the trio tightly towards her. Thanks a ton, but it might be dangerous, so don't overstretch yourselves. No need to worry. I'll protect the 3 pipsqueaks. Okay, The Impmon made the assurance begrudgingly, then clasped its hands behind its head. Yuki's partner, Impmon, then muttered something so that only she could hear. Listen, Yuki, what's up? Your teammates all changed after meeting Digimon, right? Yeah, Yuki nodded with enthusiasm. Suzune, Ryutaro, and especially Winner had all changed drastically on this journey by meeting different Digimon. It's not just this time around either. I think everyone changed after meeting their partners and the Digimon of Lacuna. Same goes for the Digimon. What? The Digimon have changed after meeting humans. Funbimon, Tyrannomon, Frigimon, that Huckmon, and even the Digimon of this world have changed after meeting, talking, and fighting with humans. It's different from digivolving, but I'm sure it's a change that's just as significant. You might even call it a miracle. Impmon continued bashfully. And me, I have had more fun after meeting you, Yuki. Even a Digimon as twisted as me experienced a change. So I'm sure things will go well with Mistymon, too. Impmon. Normally this would fill Yuki with emotion, making her hug Impmon and set off another one of their noisy fights. But not this time. All Yuki did was nod quietly and offer her hand to Impmon. The heck? High five to say thank you, good luck, and a whole bunch of other things. Sure. Impmon said nothing more and raised its own hand. Snap, the sound of resolve echoed throughout.